Welcome back to another video on Atlanta to Dallas aviation. This is my Valentine's Day special, and in celebrating Valentine's Day, what better than a fleet video of the LUV airline Southwest. And why is Southwest the LUV airline? Because their headquarter airport is Love Field in Dallas, and their ticker on the New York Stock Exchange is LUV. So that's, if you don't believe that their customer service is proof enough that they love you, then just accept the fact that they fly to Love Field and their ticker is LUV. So this is my second take. I found out that the Missouri one that's right next to Shamu there was on my spreadsheet. However, I didn't document it on the spreadsheet that it was Missouri one. So when I started doing my video in the last take and I got to Arizona one, I was like, no, this is not correct. So if you're wondering what exactly I'm talking about, I printed up a list of my Southwest models. I have it on an Excel spreadsheet, and so you're going to kind of wonder why I lined them up the way I lined them up. Well, it's just because that's how they were arranged on my spreadsheet, and not necessarily the way I would do it myself. But I wanted to be able to get through this video fairly quickly, so I didn't want to be having to look all over my spreadsheet to find out which model was which. So the way I've got it, I should be able to just go down the line and tell you the manufacturer and the aircraft registration and any special livery if that is necessary. Alright, so the first one you have right down there at the end. I don't dare get any closer or my camera will get all fuzzy. That one is my only 737-500. Registration is November 507 Sierra Whiskey. It's a Gemini Jets in the classic livery, and what I mean by classic livery is the tail colors that you see there are associated with the classic livery, although it is obviously a special livery. It's Shamu. Alright, so after that one we have 737-700. Registration is November 280 Whiskey November from NG Models. It is the Missouri one, and NG Models put out a Missouri one with the Spirit tail, which this is not. They also put Missouri one out in the hardtail, but with only winglets. But this one is the split scimitar winglet version. Next up, we have November 7855 Alpha. This was Panda Models, and it was an RM Model Store exclusive. And as you can see, that one is one of the two that was with split scimitars. And next to him, we've got, if we'll focus, it's not very focused, sorry. Next we have another Panda Models. This one's registration is November 955 Whiskey November. And this one is Arizona 1 with split scimitars. I don't remember if they put out a different version of this one. I think that was the only one. And that also might have been a Waffle Collectibles exclusive, but I don't remember. Alright, so here's one that you will see this one again. And the way I would have laid them out, I would have had both of the versions I have of this next to each other. And they're basically the exact same model. This one is the Panda version. Registration is November 931 Whiskey November. And it's Lone Star 1 with winglets. Now, in this, in the Panda version, the hubcaps of the main landing gear are painted red. Basically, when they go up, they're in a red section underneath the fuselage. I'm not going to go ahead and show you that, but those of you who have the Panda model, you know that there's red on the hubcaps. Well, that was the case in the past when it had the Spirit tail, and I believe also the Classic tail. However, when it was the Heart tail, the proper hubcap color was just gray, a light gray or maybe even white. So Panda did not get that correct. So Panda model, way better mold, but they don't ever seem to get the passenger window line correct on their models, and the hubcaps are incorrect. All right, next we have, okay, here we go. This one is also a Panda Models. Its registration is November 950 Whiskey November. And this one is the wingletted version of the Heart tail or Heart livery. Believe that also was an exclusive, but I don't remember that either. So anyway, so that's the Panda Models. Right after it, we have another Panda Models. This one is California 1 with winglets. Its registration is November 943 Whiskey November. And the final one on this row is Maryland 1 with winglets. This one's NG Models, and its registration is November 214 Whiskey November. Back down to the other end. Here's my other Lone Star 1 with winglets, and this one's the Gemini Jets version. Again, November 931 Whiskey November. And what's better about this one is that they got the hubcaps correct. You can actually from this angle you can actually see what color the main gear hubcaps are. They're kind of light gray, and that is the correct one. You may or may not be able to notice that the passenger line of windows is a little bit lower, or at least it doesn't angle up as it goes back. So they got that right. And they both pretty much got the color correct. So no complaints there. But again, like the nose gear door, way too big. And just there's a lot of upward angle on the horizontal stabilizers. That is kind of wrong. But I got both versions. Actually not really sure why. I didn't like having an inferior mold one, so I got the Panda one. But then when I found out that the Panda one had the wrong hubcaps and is notorious for not doing their passenger window line correctly, I got the Gemini Jets. Maybe we'll get lucky and NG will put out one, and then I can sell both of these or give them away or something. Alright, so next to that one we have the Classic Livery Special. This is a special livery, not an old school necessarily, because it too is on a 737-700. All these have been 700s except for the very first one. It's Gemini Jets, and this is the Colleen Barrett that got retired. And its registration is November 714 Charlie Bravo. And that paint scheme has been retired, at least off of that aircraft type. Alright, so next we got Illinois 1 with winglets. This one's a Gemini Jets release. Its registration is November 918 Whiskey November. Here's an oldie but a goodie. So this one is actually in the Classic livery as of when it was acquired by Southwest. And this one is actually a Dragon Wings model. So if it definitely looks like it has a different shape, because it does. It's Dragon Wings. The body shape is a little bit too fat, and if you take a look at the nose, it's quite blunt. It's a blunted nose, and this was one of my earliest models of Southwest that I got when Dragon Wings was still doing these things. Their planes were a little bit cheaper, partly because they had a lot of plastic parts and because they didn't put a lot of detail other than what they felt like absolutely needed to be on it. As you can see, there's a glare shield in front of the cockpit windows. I'm not sure, it doesn't look like there's pitot tubes put on there. So it's very plain. It's a very plain plane. Alright, so that's my only Dragon Wing. So that eyesore, you won't have to look at any more Dragon Wing ones. And here we have Illinois one. I'm sorry, not Illinois one, sorry. Louisiana one with winglets, which was an Airplane Shop exclusive. This aircraft registration is November 946 Whiskey November, and this one's a Gemini Jets release. Alright, and next to that one we have Florida one with winglets. It too is a Gemini Jets release, and its registration number is November 945 Whiskey November, so right behind Louisiana 1's number. And next to that one, we have another Gemini Jets release. This one is in the Spirit livery, aka Canyon Blue livery. Spirit livery is the proper name of the livery. And this one's aircraft registration is November 7955 Whiskey. All right, and next to that is another 737-700. This doesn't look correct. So this one's supposed to be 708, and it is not 708. So I do not know how I screwed this up. That looks like it's November 252 Whiskey November by NG models. And it is most definitely in the Spirit livery. Okay. I don't know how that happened. It used to be in a slightly different order. So that's what it is. I had to change the order because Missouri 1 was out of order. So that's why this one is different. So that one is the NG Models Spirit livery, November 252 Whiskey November. Very nice looking plane, and impatiently waiting for NG to put out the normal Heart livery on their 737 700 mold. Alright, let's see how many more of these are a little bit messed up, because I'm going to have to find them again. Okay, so this one should be this one should be very, very interesting. Because that one is definitely not a Gemini Jets. That one is the other Panda version Heart tail or Heart livery. Well, I don't know which one that one is. It's definitely a Panda model, but I cannot see the tail number. But that is another split scimitar. So I am sorry I don't have that one correct. I do not know how. I totally messed up the lineup here. Yeah, I don't know which one that one is. So we'll move on to this one since we're on minute 20 here. This one is going to be Gemini Jets, I believe, and this one also is November 708 Sierra Whiskey. Obviously heart livery, and with just regular winglets. Okay, I should be getting some of these right anyway. This one, oops. So that one, I'm sorry the tail is in the way of the full livery there, but that one is Triple Crown with winglets, and that one's a Gemini Jets, and that one registration is November 409er Whiskey November. Next to that one, we have Colorado 1 with the Spirit tail and winglets, and that one's Gemini Jets. That aircraft's registration is November 230 Whiskey November. Next to him, easy there camera. Alright, so next to him we've got Tennessee 1 with winglets on a 737-700. You will see this one again, but on the 800. This aircraft number is November 9er22 Whiskey November, and it too is a Gemini Jets release. Here's an oldie but a goodie. This one is Nevada 1 on a 737-700. No wingtips, no winglets or split scimitars on this one, and it's on the classic livery tail. Its aircraft registration is November 727 Sierra Whiskey. Next to that one, continuing in the desert Southwest, we've got, okay, there we go. We got another Gemini Jets release, a very older release. This one's a New Mexico 1 in the classic livery tail. Its aircraft is November 781 Whiskey November. And then I have to be get a little bit further out here. All right, so there's the current Colorado 1 with winglets in the Hearttail livery, and it's November 230 Whiskey November, and that one's a NG models. All right, now we move on to the 800s. Hopefully I've got enough time to get all these in. If I don't have any more hiccups with where I am on the spreadsheet, we should do well. Okay, not sure why that's not focusing in quite right. No. Okay, that should get in focus enough. Oh, beautiful. All right, of course this is Freedom 1. This is now in, we are now doing the 800s, a 737-800, and this one is November 500 Whiskey Romeo. Next to that one, we have this 800. This one's also an NG model, and its registration number is November 8686 Alpha. Also in the Heart livery, in the normal Heart livery. Next to that one, we have a Gemini Jet 737-800 release. Its registration is November 8642 Echo, and the sticker there at the front designates this one as Heart 1. There was Heart 1 and Heart 2. Well, this is Heart 1. Obviously in the normal Heart livery. Alright, the next one, I believe this was the most recent NG Models release of an 800 in the Heart livery. I do have two of these, so I'll just skip over the second one. You'll see it as I pass by it. The registration on this one is November 8565 Zulu. All right. I think I also realized why part of the reason why I was getting confused was because my 200 scale models are also on this sheet. So it also puts it out of order a little bit. Anyway, wow, look at this beauty. So this one is an NG Models of Tennessee 1 that is now painted on a 737-800. This registration is November 8620 Hotel. Also in the Heart tail. So that's the most recent one. And then Southwest's Future. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit in the way. The Southwest's Future is the Max 8 and, well, Max 7 too, but Max 7 hasn't been certified yet. So Southwest doesn't have any of those yet. Hence, there are no 737 Max 7 models. But this one is November 8730 Quebec. It is a Gemini Jets release. Obviously in the Heart livery. There's only going to be, well, never say only, I guess, or never, but there'll only be one Max that's in Canyon Blue / Spirit livery, and that will be the Colleen Barrett retro plane that is already out, and NG Models has already announced that it's going to do it. I have them on order, but I better get moving on this. So this model is aircraft registration is November 8706 Whiskey. It's also a Gemini Jets. All right, this Max 8 is November 8705 Quebec, and it's a Gemini Jets release. And last, but certainly not least, we have NG Models' very first model on their new mold. It is the Herbert D. Kelleher vintage livery, and its aircraft registration is November 871 Hotel Kilo. So in case